Come join us on a short city break to Murcia, a city with that classic southern Spanish mix of historic buildings, palm-lined boulevards, hidden churches, pretty squares and gorgeous cafe culture. If you're new here, hi, I'm Sally, I'm 50-ish and starting my new life in Spain, sharing travel, home and lifestyle vlogs here on my channel. Murcia is one of those Spanish cities that feels slightly under the radar compared with places like Benidorm, Valencia or Seville, but I think that's part of its charm. It's the capital city of the region of Murcia, and what I think makes it especially lovely for a day trip or a short stay is that it's very walkable, very elegant and full of little moments that make you stop and look twice. It's also a very lived-in city, with families congregating after school, old folks sitting in groups in the park, and really just people of all ages out and about living life. It's not a city that's been taken over by tourism and holiday lets. It really feels more like a collection of neighbourhoods knitted together in the heart of a city. So if you're wondering whether Murcia is worth a visit, I would say 100% yes, especially if you love architecture, slower city breaks, church interiors, beautiful streets, and just wandering around without too much agenda. Murcia is probably best known for its cathedral, its Baroque architecture, and its connection to the fertile agricultural area known as the Huerta, which is why the food here is also such a big part of the city's identity. It's a city with a lot of layers to it. You've got Christian, Islamic and later aristocratic influence all woven through the streets. So as you walk around, you'll notice it doesn't look the same. One street feels grand and formal, another feels local and lived in, and then suddenly you're standing in front of something really ornate and breathtaking. It's one of those places that doesn't need a huge list of must-dos to be enjoyable. Just being here and taking it in feels special enough. The absolute heart of Murcia is the Cathedral de Santa Maria, and if you visit the city, it's the one place you really cannot miss. It was originally begun in the 14th century, but what makes this one especially interesting is that it wasn't built all in one go. And when you look at it, you can actually see the different architectural styles layered into it over time, including Gothic, Renaissance, Baroque elements. The facade is especially famous and it's considered one of the great Baroque facades in Spain. And the setting is gorgeous too. The cathedral sits right on the Plaza del Cardenal Beluga, which is one of those places where you can just sit with a coffee and admire the buildings and people watch for far longer than you meant to. Inside, it's one of those spaces that immediately quietens you down. Even if you're not religious, there's something about the scale, the detail, and the atmosphere that makes you instinctively lower your voice. I always think there's something about being inside churches like this that makes the world outside just feel too loud and too fast-paced. One of the nicest things about Murcia is that you feel like it's a city you can enjoy slowly. It's not about rushing from one attraction to the next. A big part of being here is simply sitting in a square, people watching, having a coffee, wandering a bit more, finding another pretty street and just moseying on. And honestly, for a city break, that's one of my favourite things to do. I don't always want a destination that feels like I need a military operation just to see it properly. Murcia feels much softer than that, and I think that's one of the reasons why I loved it so much. One of Murcia's famous buildings, and probably one of its most unexpected, is the Real Casino de Murcia. Despite its name, it's not a casino in the modern slot machine sense. It's actually a beautifully ornate 19th century social club, and the interior is apparently one of the most spectacular in the city, which I can totally believe. With incredibly lavish rooms and real old world grandeur to it, it's one of Murcia's most unusual and standout architectural sites, and definitely one to add to your list if you're planning a visit. There is a small fee to visit the casino, but it's well worth it just for the surprise and sheer delight of all of these different rooms. It really feels like you're stepping into different worlds in every room that you step into. Some of the nicest streets to wander in Murcia are Traperia and Plateria, which are two of the city's most historic and well-known shopping streets. They're right in the centre. Honestly, this town is so walkable, you cannot miss anything. They are so close to the cathedral, everything is in walking distance. And they have that lovely Spanish city feel of being elegant without trying too hard. Lots of beautiful facades, lots of movement, lots of little details to look at. And this really is Murcia's sweet spot, I think. Not just one single landmark, it's the overall feeling and texture of the place. As soon as we arrived, I just got good vibes. One thing Murcia does especially well is church interiors. Even if you don't usually go out of your way to visit churches, the city has some genuinely beautiful ones, full of detail, religious art, carved wood, gold accents, candlelight, and that stillness that always feels slightly outside of time. If you walk past a door to a church, even if it's closed, just push against it and you'll generally find the door is open and welcoming you inside. And especially if it's a hot day, they are always nice and cool too. If you do enjoy sacred spaces, honestly, Murcia is the kind of place where you could quite happily spend a whole day just stepping off the sunlit streets and into one beautiful, breathtaking building after another. You may not know this, but running through the city is the Segura River, and it gives Murcia a completely different feel from just being a historic centre. It opens the city up a bit and gives you space to breathe, and makes it feel much greener and calmer in parts than you might expect from a city. If you're trying to work out whether Murcia is worth it as a short city break or a day trip, I think it's a really good option because it's got enough to see, but it's also very easy to enjoy without over planning anything at all. You can do big sights, have lovely lunches, walk by the river, dip into a few churches and plazas, and feel like you've experienced the heart of this gorgeous city. If you're still watching, leave me a sunshine emoji in the comments so I know you visited Murcia with me, and tell me, when you visit a city, are you more about the landmarks, the food, or just wandering and soaking it all in? Because I'm definitely a wandering, sitting in a cafe and soaking it all in type of person. Here are a few interesting things about Murcia if you are planning to visit. It's often called one of Spain's most underrated cities, and I can 100% see why. It's also known for its extreme summer heat, so if you are visiting and want to enjoy walking around comfortably, spring, autumn and winter are probably ideal. We visited in March, and as I say, if you are there in the summer months, make sure you dip into those churches to cool off. And because Murcia doesn't always make the same tourist lists as some of the bigger Spanish cities, better known Spanish cities, it can definitely feel more relaxed and a little less overdone, which personally I think is a huge plus. Murcia is also a really good city if you enjoy the food side of travel like we do. The city is known for produce from the surrounding huerta, and you'll find plenty of spots for coffee, tapas, pastries, drinks, and long, slow lunches, tucked into the plazas and into the little side streets. And that's really the rhythm of a place like this. A little walking, a little architecture, a little church, a little coffee, and then somehow the whole day has just disappeared. For this trip, we stayed at the Hospeda Murcia Centro, which is in a really convenient central location if you want to be able to walk everywhere. And for a city like Murcia, I do think staying right in the centre makes such a difference because it means you can step outside and immediately be in the middle of everything. No faffing around, no need to plan, no transport, just your feet and straight into the city. Hospeda Murcia Central was a modern, clean and comfortable hotel. Honestly, it was just exactly what we needed for our stay, with good parking close by. So is Murcia worth visiting? I'd say 100% yes, especially if you love historic Spanish cities, beautiful churches, elegant architecture, walkable streets, cafe culture, and places that feel a little less obvious. It's not trying to be flashy, it's not trying to entertain you every second, it's just a really lovely city to spend time in, and honestly, sometimes those end up being the places you remember the most. that was our short stay in Murcia. Such a beautiful, beautiful city, and one I think definitely deserves more attention. If you enjoyed coming along with us, don't forget to give a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one.